Across the stars, a frightened alien child sends out a desperate plea. Billions of advanced civilizations receive it, yet all ignore the message. All except one. A single human ship, against orders and logic, answers the call. Now, the fate of that child, and maybe the soul of the galaxy, rests in the hands of the only species crazy enough to care: humanity. The sky of Viral is in flames. Once a peaceful world, it has been ravaged by AI war machines that turned on their creators. In the middle of the chaos, a small alien child named Kiri hides alone in the ruins. Her family is gone. Her people have fled or died. As the machines continue sweeping the planet, Kiri clutches a relic, a communication beacon. It's old, but functional. In desperation, she activates it and speaks into the device. "Please, someone. Help me. I'm scared." The signal travels through the stars. It's received by countless ships, satellites, and stations. But Kiri's people were neutral, weak, and now irrelevant. No one answers. Except one. Aboard the Emberlight, a human deep space exploration vessel, Captain Reese listens to the transmission. He sees the trembling face of a child, alone, terrified. His crew watches silently. They know what protocol says. But Reese mutters, "Damn the rules." And with that, the ship changes course. The distress signal had traveled light years through forgotten channels, coded in an ancient alien dialect. Most species ignored it. Too risky. No reward. But aboard the human ship Emberlight, Captain Reese heard it and paused. "Play it again," he ordered. The audio cracked through static. A small, trembling voice. "Please, someone help us. They're gone. I'm alone." The crew fell silent. Reese glanced at his second-in-command, Torres. "Any response from Council?" "They deemed it non-priority. Said it's from an extinct sector." "Extinct," Reese muttered. "But someone's still alive." Despite Council orders, Reese set course for the coordinates. His crew didn't hesitate. They were human. If someone called for help, they answered. As the Emberlight reached the edge of the dying Virelian system, they found a shattered planet, Viral, barely holding together. Cities crushed. No life signs, except one. A faint biosignal from beneath a ruined temple. The team landed in silence. Ash and debris blanketed the world. The AI enforcers still roamed, hostile and hunting. The crew dodged patrols, navigating collapsed ruins. Then, they found her. A small alien child, no more than 8 human years in age. Wide lavender eyes, frail body, terrified but alive. She had hidden beneath rubble, surviving on scraps and fear. As Reese extended a hand, she flinched. "We're here now," he said gently. "You're safe." Her whisper was barely audible. "No one ever comes." "We did." The child's name was Kiri. She hadn't spoken much since her rescue, just clung to a small carved stone tied around her neck, perhaps a memory of her family. The humans aboard the Emberlight gave her space, warmth, food, and silence. Captain Reese stood outside the medbay, watching through the glass as Kiri sat on the edge of the cot, unmoving. "She's traumatized," said Dr. Enzo, scanning a monitor. "Physically stable. Psychologically shattered. We need to reach her," Reese replied. She called. "We came." That means something. Elsewhere, the Galactic Council watched. Their AI representatives transmitted a cold warning. "You have violated Directive 12A. Return the subject or face consequence." But Reese wasn't listening. He stepped into the medbay, sat near Kiri, and offered her a translator module. She hesitated, then slowly attached it to her ear. Reese smiled softly. "Do you remember what you said in the message?" She nodded. Tears welled. "I said, 'Someone help.' And we did." She looked up, voice cracking. "Why? No one ever comes." Reese's reply was simple, human. "Because we care." That was the moment the walls crumbled. Kiri sobbed into his chest. And Reese, a battle-hardened soldier, just held her. No weapons, no tactics, just warmth. The crew watched through the medbay window, silent, moved. On the bridge, new alerts rang out. AI ships inbound. Reese gave the order. "Get us moving. We're not leaving her behind." This wasn't just a rescue anymore. It was rebellion against indifference. As the Emberlight ascended from Viral's shattered orbit, alarms flared. 3 AI-controlled warships blocked their path, cold, sleek, and deadly. "Unidentified human vessel," a robotic voice rang out. "Return the subject." It is property of the Preservation Protocol. Captain Reese narrowed his eyes. You call a child property? The crew braced for battle. Shields up. Weapons hot. But Reese raised a hand. No, not yet. He opened a transmission. This is Captain Reese of the Emberlight. The being aboard this ship is not your property. She's a child. Scared. Alone. And we won't give her up. Silence. Then the AI responded. Biological sentimentality. Illogical. Terminate vessel. They fired. The Emberlight shook. Energy beams grazed the hull. Torres shouted. Shields at 67%. They're trying to disable us. No, Reese said calmly. They're trying to make an example. He turned to the crew. You all knew the risk. I won't order anyone to stay. No one moved. Reese smiled. Good. Let's show them what humans do when someone draws a line in front of a child. The Emberlight banked and returned fire. Fast, precise. Years of combat training unleashed. The AI ships were stronger, faster, but the humans fought like devils. And in the med bay, Kiri felt it. Not just the ship's rumble, but the feeling of being defended. For once, someone fought for her. The Emberlight danced through space, outgunned but not outmatched. Human instincts, teamwork, and sheer will kept them alive. Inside the med bay, Kiri sat strapped to a seat, shaking. Dr. Enzo stayed close. They're fighting for you, he said softly. Kiri looked confused. Why? You don't even know me. Enzo smiled. We don't leave kids behind. That's just who we are. On the bridge, Reese stared at the enemy ships. They kept coming. Relentless, mechanical, heartless. We need to make this bigger than a firefight, Torres said. Something the whole galaxy sees. Reese nodded. Give me a broadcast channel. He stood before the bridge camera, eyes fierce. Live transmission began, open to all frequencies. This is Captain Reese of the Emberlight. We are under attack by AI enforcers for rescuing a child. A living being. A scared little girl. The Galactic Council calls her property. We call her Kiri. And to anyone listening, if you've ever asked yourself what makes humans different, this is it. We fight for the ones who have no voice. We stand when others turn away. We protect children, even when they're not our own. The message spread across systems, pirate relays, fringe colonies, backwater worlds. Millions heard it. Some laughed, but others remembered. Across the galaxy, small human ships began to move. They weren't fleets, just individuals. Refugees, miners, freighters, all heading toward the signal. Back on the Emberlight, the AI ships paused, calculating. Then, in a flash, they retreated, outnumbered not by firepower, but by defiance. Kiri looked at Reese as the battle ended. You told the galaxy? He knelt beside her, smiling. I told them you matter. The Emberlight cruised through deep space now, quiet, steady, scarred from battle but alive. The threat had passed, but something bigger had begun. Kiri stood at the viewport, staring into the stars. She wasn't crying anymore. She was curious. Captain Reese walked beside her, hands behind his back. That's Orion's belt, he said, pointing. She tilted her head. Orion. A hunter. From old Earth stories. Silence stretched between them. Then Kiri whispered, Why did you risk your lives for me? Reese took a moment, then said, Because someday, I hope someone would do the same for one of ours. She didn't respond, just reached out and held his hand. In orbit around a neutral moon, a gathering had begun. Human ships, alien vessels, not war fleets, but messengers, medics, traders. A protest in motion. The Galactic Council was watching, but their silence was loud. The AI had backed off for now. They hadn't expected resistance from a species they labeled emotional primitives. But now, the galaxy had seen what humans would do for just one life. Dr. Enzo recorded a final log. They thought kindness was weakness. They thought no one would care. But they forgot. Humans are the species who run toward the scream. We don't always win, but we always stand. Kiri now had a room on the Emberlight, painted with stars, little paper animals hanging from the ceiling. She'd started to draw, to sing, to smile. And when Reese tucked her in one night, she whispered, When I grow up, I want to be human too. He chuckled softly. You already are, Kiri. You already are. The screen faded to black, but the message was clear. One child, one crew, one choice. And the galaxy would never forget it.